Alexei Gonchenko, member of the Parliament of Ukraine. Obviously, question to Senator Vance. First of all, you said Putin said he supports Biden. Don't forget, Putin always lies. That's the first point. Second point, you said about importance of watching to Asia, definitely. But don't forget that your state of Ohio is exporting $11 billion to Europe. And what will be with 1,000 jobs in state of Ohio if Europe will be disrupted by Putin, which he clearly wants to do. And also, like the roots of more than half of population of Ohio, German, Irish, Ukrainian, Lithuanian, Polish, English, what to say to these people, just that you are not so interested in Europe right now. And the last thing about deterrent. Ukraine had a fantastic deterrent against Russia. We had nuclear weaponry. And because of push of the United States of America, you took it from us. So please, if you not want to help Ukraine, so help us to become back nuclear state, and we will deal with Russia ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. So perhaps Senator Vance.
Which is that we need Europe to play a bigger share of the security role. And that's not because we don't care about Europe, to your question, sir, to sort of the things that you've said, Ms. Lang. It's because we have to recognize that we live in a world of scarcity. When I sort of listen to these questions, and I listen to so many of the private conversations I've had, one of the attitudes that I think is very, very dominant at the Munich Security Conference is the idea of the American superpower that can do everything all at once. And what I'm telling you is that we live in a world of scarcity in weapons manufacturing and America's capacity to make the critical machinery of war. And that world of scarcity is what I'm trying to get us all to wake up to. In that world of scarcity, we can't support Ukraine and the Middle East and contingencies in East Asia. It just doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't work out in terms of weapons manufacturing. The one final point I want to make here is, I hear a lot of self-congratulation in this room and some of the conversations that I've had back home in the United States. This is not just a criticism of Europe. A lot of self-congratulation about how much our GDP is bigger than Russia's GDP. And yes, we are richer than Russia. Our citizens have better lives than the average Russian citizen. That is certainly something to celebrate and be proud of. But you don't win wars with GDP or euros or dollars. You win wars with weapons. And the West doesn't make enough weapons. Now, I don't mean to beat up on Germany here because I love Germany, but I wanted to respond to something Ms. Lang said earlier. Look, Germany is the one country, maybe, in NATO that did not follow the stupid Washington consensus and allow their country to be deindustrialized during the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And yet at the very moment that Putin is more and more powerful, where the Russian army is invading European countries en masse, this is the point at which Germany starts to deindustrialize. Look at the number of people working in manufacturing in Germany now versus 10 years ago. Look at the critical raw materials produced in Germany now versus 10 years ago. The energy dependence now versus 10 or 20 years ago. We have got to stop deindustrializing. We want Europe to be successful, but Europe has got to take a bigger role in its own security. You can't do that without industry.